looks like he's got a stud in the finals, but I think we're going to be impressed with how well he does against this powerhouse that Zadora is.
And Zadora is so good, and Judd has the future ahead of him. Right out the bat, though, Zadora gets the ankle, spins him around for the takedown for 2.
There's a lot of difference between physicality and mental and physical maturity, and the difference between a 14-year-old and a 16 to 17-year-old.
And there's a size difference. I think Judd is probably an undersized 132, if there is such a thing, versus Zadora, who's right at that number. But, I mean, the future for Lucas Judd is going to be super bright. And what a great way to start, right? Start your ECC career going up in the finals against an undefeated returning champion. I mean, let's go.
It's got to be tough, though.
It is, but this is when, I mean, I'm going to go predict the future. When Judd looks back at multiple ECC championships, he's going to go, and in my freshman year, I had to go up against this dude who was, man, you know, like, that's going to be part of the story. Like, I went 3 times, and my freshman year, I got mushed. Or maybe not, but that's part of the greatness of competition. And again, there's very few sports where you're truly alone with your opponent. It's just you. Coaches can help, teammates can cheer, moms can root from the stands, but there's you. And I think there's something beautiful, almost poetic about that right there.
And that's why we're better than all the other sports. You didn't hear me say that. I'm just speaking for, the rest of the
I think 95% of the people watching right now are going, that's right, CJ, we are. Zadora is doing such great work, staying on top, riding it out. 15 seconds remaining in the first. I mean, there are a few sports where you're playing, tennis you can play one-on-one with somebody, and there's lots of sports where you're you're playing that individual, but the physicality of wrestling, I mean, that's a lonely place out there, man.
If you're stuck in a foxhole, do you want a wrestler next to you, or do you want the tennis player?
Well,
the Williams girls, they can hold their own.
I was about to say, I can think of a couple of tennis players I might want with me, but. So 4-1, Zadora.
Ooh, Lucas Judd's moving quick, though. He's putting his hands up on his head, trying to make him blink. Close your eyes. That's a good time to shoot on your guy. So
what I like is that he's not in any way intimidated. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, hey, I'm going to let it all hang out.
He's been in bigger matches than this, that's for sure. But this is his biggest high school match to date, I'm sure.
And, right now, Zadora,
still wrestling. No,
defending
now we got
champion,
the 2.
Knows what it takes. 6-1 here in the second period. Judd trying his best, but Zadora very confident.
I mean, Lucas Judd is holding his own against an undefeated junior returning champ.
And not just undefeated, by the way, 43-0.
Yeah, that's a little bit different than 10-0, right?
And 43-0 means when you break the 40 mark in matches, before you even hit, a guy like Zadora could wrestle 70 matches this year, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah, thinking back, and we had a big schedule. We usually finish with 40 to 50 matches by the end of the year. But I think going into states, for scoring, you have to get the most points you can get. You have to have 28 or more wins. So that's at least a benchmark. If you want to be seated in the top 4, you got to have at least 28 wins.
He may have another 10, 15 matches left on his plate before the year's out, and he'd be close to 60 matches before the year's done.
And the more you win, the less you have to wrestle. So
6-1, Zadora on top right here as we wind down. 20 seconds remaining in the second period. You're watching the ECC Wrestling Championships live on game day. Casey O'Neill and CJ Saddy bringing you all the best wrestling has to offer here in the ECC.
And this is our 5th Killingly finalist. We've had 2 champions and 2 not champions.
Which Ian Killingly is, and we'll show the team score again after this match. But Killingly running away with it. Actually, let's pop it up really quickly after this match is over. We'll pop up the team scores and have a take a look at it, because I think Killingly has clinched effectively the team championship, but all the other teams are jockeying for position.
Yeah, so maybe our next discussion is, we already know who got first, but who's going to take second? Because that could be, a lot can change. I should start looking at those matchups because we had NFA in second, and was it Windham in third?
Yes.
All right, and I'm going to be counting my Windham versus NFA finalists here. We had Sorrell just take one.
And you're also going to be looking at wrestler of the tournament. You know, who's the wrestler, who gets that MVW.
All right, I'm going to have to correct you here. It's an MOW or
Most
an
outstanding
OW.
wrestler, yes, I know.
With no MVPs. No players out here.
Who gets the Mo?
The Mo. I love that they just add the most on it. You can't just be outstanding. You have to be the most outstanding. It's like if you're outstanding, you already did the most, right?
Unless you're outstanding in a field.
Da-da.
Well, that's what I've heard. That someone told me you're outstanding in your field, and I'm like, I don't have a field. I have a yard. 6-1 here for Brady Zadora. He is, at this point, in control of the match. Now it's about, right, don't make a mistake and stay aggressive, but stay vigilant, right? You just don't do something
Stay off your
silly.
back. One, out of bounds. No lost control. No one. We're still on the mat.
Talk a little bit about wrestling with a lead. In doing that, it's easy to say stay off your back. That's like saying go throw strikes. But, the other guy's doing some stuff too. So what is the mentality? How do you wrestle with a lead?
Conservatively, unless you're really dominating them, especially if you're in the bottom position, you can't really be going for that Granby roll where you expose. You can't be doing those high-risk things. You got to stay a little more compact, and you got to stop what the guy's doing. Lucas Judd's a good wrestler. Third period, that's where matches are won. So we still got a minute here of wrestling. Anything can happen.
Yeah, a minute is an eternity. It feels like it goes by quick. Other times it feels like it's an eternity. It never ends. And I can only imagine what it feels like when you're the guy trying to come back, or you're the guy on your back.
Yeah, when you're losing, it probably goes a little slower. When you're looking up when you're holding onto the lead and you look at the clock, it starts moving slow too.
Goes backwards. Like, I swear I had 40 seconds, now I have 50. 35 seconds remaining. Zadora looking for the championship to cap off an undefeated season at 43-0 and be a two-time champion as he won last year at 126. Down to 26 seconds remaining here in the match.
Yeah, 132 pounds here. How many matches are we through? Not quite halfway.
We're 5. This is our 6th match.
This is our 6th match, and Killingly has had 5 out of those 6 matches.
That
Had
is
someone in the
correct.
final.
That is correct.
I'm going to be pointing out Killingly's big stats here all night. It's pretty impressive, man. They've done a great job with the program.
And Coach
Rich
wants
Bowen.
every point.
It's like you already got the win. No, but Rich Bowen took the lead, or he got his 700th win, and I think he might have already been the most winningest coach in the entire state, but he's now at the 700 mark.
That's remarkable. We've seen some great numbers from coaches in other sports. The 500 win club, 700 wins. That's scary. 15 seconds now down, almost 10. As Brady Zadora
Got that reversal.
grabs 2 more, and he's going to ride out these last 5 seconds. And there it is, 8-2. Brady Zadora is the champion at 132 pounds. A game effort from freshman Lucas Judd, but Zadora wins for the 2nd year in a row. 126 last year, now up to 132. And he's going to have some comments to our own Chris Juicy. Juice.
Brady, you had a big lead, had to survive that third. Talk about it. I knew I could stall on bottom. I knew he wasn't going to turn me. I have trust in my bottom, and I have trust in my top games as well. He couldn't escape. Undefeated this season. That's a game freshman. He only had a 1 loss this year. Talk about the intensity and the focus that you got to bring to not slip up and lose 1 match all season long. I mean, Lucas is great. He's been around a long time, but I run this. I've been here before, and this is his first time. I have no doubt that he won't be kicking butt next year. Rest of the season, what are you looking forward to? Definitely states next week. State opens after that. Just keep winning, keep trying to improve my record. Congratulations. Still undefeated.